What if the future of American chip manufacturing and thousands of jobs in central New York suddenly hung by a thread? That's the reality we're facing. Trump wants to revisit the chip-making grants that brought Micron to CNY. Is this a win for taxpayers or a devastating blow to American tech leadership? Let's dive in. The story starts with Micron, a major player in the memory chip market. They struck a deal with the Biden administration to build two massive chip plants in Clay, New York, potentially receiving $4.6 billion in federal grants and over $11 billion in other subsidies. This was a huge win for the region, promising thousands of jobs and solidifying America's position in the global chip race. But now, that deal might be in jeopardy. According to a Reuters report, Trump is concerned about some of the requirements tied to these grants. Specifically, he's questioning the mandates around using union labor for construction and providing childcare for workers. These were key provisions in Micron's agreement with the federal government. Trump sees these as unnecessary burdens on companies, while others view them as essential for creating good-paying jobs and supporting working families. The stakes are incredibly high. This isn't out of the blue. Trump has been a vocal critic of the 2022 CHIPS and Science Act, calling it a bad deal that funnels billions of dollars to wealthy companies. He made these comments on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, sparking a wave of concern among industry leaders and policymakers. His argument is that these companies should be able to compete without government handouts. But is that a realistic view in today's global market where other countries heavily subsidize their chip industries? It's a complex question with no easy answers. Adding fuel to the fire, former House Speaker Mike Johnson initially suggested that Congress might repeal the CHIPS Act. He later walked back those comments, but his concerns about the bill's energy provisions remain. He argued that removing the Green New Deal elements from the bill would save trillions of dollars. This highlights a key ideological divide. Is the CHIPS Act primarily about boosting chip manufacturing, or is it also a vehicle for promoting environmental goals? This debate is far from over. Micron has committed to several environmental goals as part of the deal, including striving to use 100% carbon-free electricity and increasing water conservation. These commitments are important for sustainability, but they also add to the cost and complexity of the project. Trump's potential intervention raises the question: are these environmental requirements worth the risk of jeopardizing the entire project? It's a delicate balancing act. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand has warned that companies and government officials need to take legal action if Trump tries to undermine Micron's CHIPS agreement. This sets the stage for a potential legal battle that could drag on for years, further delaying the project and creating even more uncertainty. The legal landscape is complex, and the outcome is far from certain. Syracuse University even held a Micron Day to showcase the opportunities the project would bring to the region. Speakers discussed careers, technology, and the impact on the local community. This event highlights the widespread enthusiasm and hope surrounding the Micron project. But that hope is now tempered by the uncertainty surrounding Trump's potential intervention. The project also faces environmental concerns. Catherine Landis, a science advisor at SUNY College of Environmental Science and Forestry, has raised concerns about the destruction of wetlands and the potential for long-term environmental harm. She points out that the construction will result in significant greenhouse gas emissions, and the operation will draw millions of gallons of water daily from Lake Ontario. These concerns need to be addressed to ensure the project is sustainable in the long run. Landis also reminds us of the historical significance of the Oneida River, which served as a major provisioning area for indigenous people. She argues that the Micron project risks repeating past mistakes, where outside corporations have damaged the environment for their own gain. This perspective adds a crucial ethical dimension to the debate. The Army Corps of Engineers is currently reviewing Micron's application to destroy over 200 acres of wetlands. Public comment is open until July 31st. Landis urges people to demand a substantial replacement area for the lost wetlands, arguing that the cumulative impacts will be far greater than the initial acreage. This is a critical opportunity for the public to voice their concerns and influence the outcome of the project. The CHIPS Act has become a political football, with Republicans and Democrats offering vastly different interpretations of its purpose and effectiveness. Republicans like Trump view it as corporate welfare, while Democrats see it as essential for national security and economic competitiveness. This political polarization makes it difficult to find common ground and move forward with the project. The confusion surrounding the CHIPS Act was further highlighted when former House Speaker Mike Johnson appeared to contradict himself on the issue. He initially suggested that Republicans might repeal the act, but later walked back those comments, claiming he misheard the question. This flip-flop created an awkward moment for Representative Brandon Williams, who was standing next to the speaker and is facing a tough re-election effort. The political maneuvering is intense. Williams, a Republican representing Central New York, is caught in a difficult position. He supports the CHIPS Act and its benefits for his district, but he also needs to maintain good relations with his party leadership. This tension was evident in his attempts to clarify Johnson's comments. He's walking a tightrope. Ultimately, Democrat John Mannion unseated Representative Brandon Williams in a closely contested election. Mannion made abortion rights a central issue in his campaign, and he also criticized Williams' ties to Trump. This election result underscores the political volatility of the region and the importance of the CHIPS Act issue to voters. Mannion's victory is significant because it gives Democrats a crucial seat in the House. It also sends a message that voters in Central New York are concerned about the future of the Micron project and the potential loss of jobs and economic opportunities. The election results could influence the debate over the CHIPS Act moving forward. To understand the long-term economic impact, let's consider the concept of diffusion tensor imaging in regional economics. Just as DTI tracks water molecule movement in the brain to map neural pathways, we can use similar models to trace the flow of investment and talent spurred by Micron. The CHIPS Act acts as the initial injection of resources, and the success of Micron's project will determine the strength and reach of these economic pathways throughout the region. A setback now could severely limit this diffusion effect, hindering long-term growth. Furthermore, the semiconductor industry thrives on the network effect. The more companies and researchers that are located in a particular region, the more attractive that region becomes for further investment and innovation. Micron's presence in CNY could attract other chip manufacturers, suppliers, and research institutions, creating a virtuous cycle of growth. Undermining Micron's project could disrupt this network effect, leading to missed opportunities for the entire region. Think of it as building a superhighway. One missing link can cripple the entire system. Finally, the multiplier effect needs to be considered. Every dollar invested in Micron will generate additional economic activity throughout the region. Construction workers will spend their wages at local businesses, suppliers will hire more employees, and the overall tax base will increase. Economists use input-output models to quantify this multiplier effect. A study published in the Journal of Regional Science, Miller and Blair, 2009, demonstrates how large-scale manufacturing investments can have a significant multiplier effect on regional economies. Jeopardizing Micron's project would significantly reduce this multiplier effect, costing the region billions of dollars in lost economic output. So, we have two fundamentally opposing views. On one side, you have those who believe that government subsidies are essential for competing in the global chip race and creating jobs. On the other side, you have those who believe that government intervention distorts the market and that companies should be able to compete on their own merits. Which view is correct? Perhaps the answer lies somewhere in the middle. Maybe targeted subsidies with clear performance metrics and accountability are the best approach. To determine the effectiveness of the CHIPS Act, we need to focus on verifiable metrics. How many jobs are actually created? What is the increase in domestic chip production? What is the impact on national security? By tracking these metrics, we can objectively assess whether the CHIPS Act is achieving its goals. Without such metrics, the debate will remain purely ideological. The future of Micron's project in CNY is now uncertain. Trump's potential intervention, combined with ongoing political debates and environmental concerns, creates a complex and volatile situation. The stakes are incredibly high, not just for Micron in Central New York, but for the entire American chip industry. What happens next will have a profound impact on our nation's economic competitiveness and national security. So, what can you do? Stay informed about the latest developments. Contact your elected officials and let them know your views on the CHIPS Act and the Micron project. Participate in public forums and voice your concerns. The future of American chip manufacturing is in our hands. Let's make sure our voices are heard. This is a developing story, and we'll continue to provide updates as they become available. What do you think? Should Trump revisit the chip-making grants? Are the environmental requirements too burdensome? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis of the tech industry. Thanks for watching.